Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Wednesday. It's December 15th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And today was an FOMC day, a really strange day. I mean, it's not uncommon to get a crazy day on a FOMC day, but evidently the market liked something that came out in the report. And I mean, really, if you look at the regular trading, other than this huge move up here that got kind of wild and crazy, it wasn't really a very good day. We kind of sideways, we dropped down. This blue line was a measured move. We actually pushed a little lower, and we ran up, and you can see we found resistance at a measured move up on the news report. But eventually we pushed through that, and you can see that's a lot of movement for after 2:30. I mean, you don't usually see that. You don't usually see much movement at all, and this thing just went out of sight. So um, the best part of the move was late in the afternoon. So if you had a runner, obviously if you get a runner after 2:30, don't just close it because it's after 2:30. It's fine to manage a runner. Just don't enter new trades after that. If you got a nice runner and this thing's still going like this, by all means go with it. But otherwise, it's not really a lot of opportunity today. I mean, this is a really big move from the lows. 45-point move basically up to these highs. So this is more like a range day. And really up until 1 o'clock, everything was kind of down and had a negative slant to it. And you can see when that news popped out. The blue areas there, don't trade during that time. Usually I say, my advice is don't take any new trades after noon and then wait till the volatility kind of comes back to normal, which was really once we kind of made this area right in here. And then it kind of, you might have just stayed out of this till we topped out, but right in here you can see we're starting to kind of get back to normal. And generally what will happen after a big news item, it'll back up and take most of it back and reset. You can see that happen. It didn't quite take it all back today. Took most of it back. I mean, it started right in here, so we took the majority of it back, and that's generally what you can expect. And then it kind of resets and took off again. So really nice afternoon move, but not much happening before that. There's a few trades I marked in the afternoon, but this was still pretty volatile. So, and there weren't a lot of trades this morning. At least there weren't a lot of good setups. So it's not going to take very long. You can see kind of what we have there. Here's our new daily chart, and this is our envelope indicator on here is what these bands are. But we've been in that range, and we kind of broke lower, and we've gotten back in there. You can see we're still, you probably need to adjust this up a little now, but you can see we're still chopping around inside that range. We found resistance at the highs, turned down, bounced off the lows, and we're right back at the highs again. That's pretty much where we got to today. That's a huge, the volatility seems to be back. Kind of slowed down there for a couple of days, but today certainly was a very volatile day. So very huge, very huge day. It doesn't really tell you. It doesn't really tell you the number of points on this thing. This thing is set for the daily chart, so I can't really tell you the number of points on that. But you can easily see if you want to just run this on 104-point day. So very volatile day. But let's go back and go through the trades and wrap this day up. I'm really late getting this up today too. It's already after 6 o'clock, and I'm just now getting a chance to do this video. So it's been a long day for me. So I want to wrap this up and get out of here as well. I will remind you that this is my last week. We'll have a regular day tomorrow. And then I'm probably going to take off early Friday, and I'll be done till the end of the year. So just be prepared that no more chart lessons and probably no midday charts after this week. So anyway, let's zoom in here, talk about the trades. 7 o'clock came back over here where we're we're turning down right in here, and we bounced. I think 7's like right in here as we make this high. And we bounced down here multiple times. This is a huge bar. I marked it green. If it wasn't such a big bar, I'd mark it blue. And if you wanted to take it, there's nothing wrong with taking that trade. It meets our criteria. But that signal bar is, well, 23 ticks. Very large signal bar, so something to think about. Quick, easy move. Then we're just still kind of chopping along. And look at the resistance we're running across here. And you can see we made a high. We tested it once, tested it twice, really 3 times there. And look how bearish that is. I really like that for that breakout there. It's probably going to trap the longs. And that's a really nice move down. I mean, if you caught 1 or 2 of these, you might have been done early. And of course, there's 2 legs. There's a second entry long here right at the lows. Another failed break lower. I like going long there. It's a second entry long too. Of course, we don't really count second entries. We're not looking for them. But if you get a setup and it is a second entry, pay attention to it. That's another nice move, but it quickly fails and turns down. You could treat that like a failed second entry long. Just make sure you got room to get out. You don't know that it's going to keep going like this, but this turns out to be a really good trade, and you might have got a runner out of this. Just depends on how you managed it. Unfortunately, I don't see any other entries in here. This one is tempting because it does confirm the trend line. It's really congested though, and that's the first break of this little channel working back. That's a really bearish bar. If you took that one, I probably wouldn't be too rough on you if you took it. You could argue for it to be green maybe because it does confirm that trend line. This has been a pretty strong move down. The only problem is we already had the measured move, but you may expect prices to try to go lower again as long as you got room to get out. Of course, it comes back and you get a second entry here, but not a very good setup. And then you're just kind of chopping sideways again. And I don't see anything in this entire range that I like. The bars are too big for how small it is, and you don't really get any good chance to get long at the very lows or short at the very highs. We break out of there, it fails, turns down. There's a lower high here, but that bar doesn't quite close on its lows. Not much room back to the EMA. It could bounce. So I was kind of looking for the failure here, which happens way down here, and that's not a very good failure. There was another second entry here, but on my chart, the bar's too bullish, so nothing there. And then finally, we come back here. Notice we work up, pull back, work up, big bearish bar. There's a hidden second entry in there. Be careful with those, though. People hear me say that, and then next thing I know, I'm getting 50 emails. Is this a hidden second entry? Why'd this hidden second entry fail? You need to know what you're doing if you're trading a hidden second entry. If it's not a second entry on the chart we're trading, you need to be a really skilled chart reader. So don't take these just because you see them and you hear me talk about them. But this is one you might take. This is for the more experienced traders, though. People that are good chart readers that understand what's going on here. There's also a failed second entry, first entry, and then a second entry. So that's also a failure, but it's a fairly large move for a failure. We get the break outside, we drop to a new low, chop around a minute, and then we reverse out of there. And we get a reversal right here. Notice the new low, first entry, and then the second entry short. If that fails, we're probably going to get a scalp out of it. Probably going to go back in the range. It does run up and turn back down, but it's good for an easy scalp. Most of those traps will be. And then, of course, we bounce. You actually get 2 legs here. I'm not even going to measure them. It doesn't really matter. Well, I'll show it to you. There's leg. There's your first move, and then you're looking for a measured move from there. We actually get quite a bit more than that. Comes back. Notice we got the channel working up. It comes back. Then you get a higher low right here. I like this higher low. It breaks lower and turns up. You could trade it on the engulfing, but be careful with those. But I think that's still bullish enough to go long right there. Just looking for a retest of the high. And that's going to take you into the noon time too. So there you are at noon. Stay out of this. Still a little volatile. You might could have got into this, but I don't see any good setups anyway. And I kind of right in here is where it's starting to kind of normalize again. Then we continue higher back to this measured move up here. This was the measured move of the range, of the blue range to the high side. You can see that's exactly where we found resistance. We made a little double top and then a lower high right here. And there's a little trap. It breaks higher and turns down. I like going short there just because we've had the close, move to a new high, and it's a perfect measured move, and we got a double top there with a lower high. And if you catch this one, that's a really nice move. And you're looking for it to possibly reset too, which it does. Doesn't quite get back to here, but that's pretty close. And then of course we get a little bit of an overshoot here. And there's another one of those hidden entries, second entries. I didn't mark it because that's an inside bar. So you didn't want to trade that anyway. But notice we try to go higher once, twice, and then you get a first entry, second entry. And that's a really bearish bar. So there's a good chance to try to get a retest to the low. It's an easy scalp, but it bounces and we never come back. This thing really liked the FOMC news and we're off to the races to the upside. It took a little while to get outside of that resistance, but then we took off. There's another one here that I didn't mark. I meant to. Got this working up through here. And this is really a little steeper here. It's probably more like that right off of those bodies right there. And you get a break and a new high and there's a second entry right there. And I like that one too. It's right there at those right resistance. And there's another one right here, but it looks a little congested. I was thinking wait on a lower high. You just don't get it. And then then you get a first entry, second entry, third entry. So you don't want to take a third entry here on this one. But again, you might look at this like a channel working higher with a close outside and a new high. So it's another one you could consider. But when you saw the repeat of it right here, definitely after reaching the measured move again with the little failed break up, that's the one to take. And that takes you into the 2:30 hour. No more trades after that. So that's how I saw it today. Again, not a lot of trades. Of course, you lose a good bit of the trading day because of the FOMC hour there that we want to kind of sit tight. It's not quite an hour really. It's, well, it is because of the 12 to 1 o'clock. And then after that, it was only about 10 or 15 minutes that you couldn't trade. So we're kind of back to normal. But there it is. Crazy day. Man, we closed way up here at 47.01, which was 100 points from where we were trading here early around lunchtime. So that's quite a move for 3 hours. Not even 3 hours really. Really about 2 hours. So if you had a runner in here, which again, you don't get a lot of chances to enter it because you're still thinking short until this starts happening and it's too late to enter a trade. So I doubt anybody's probably trading any runners in there unless you broke the rule and traded after 2:30. There was a higher low there that confirmed this trend line right here. This trend line's really already confirmed. It didn't look like prices were even going to pay attention to it, and then it comes back and bounces there and you get a higher low. So there's an entry right there, and it's just right into the 2 o'clock hour. So somebody might take that. Actually, this thing is not supposed to turn gray until 2:30. I'm going to pause this just a second and check my settings. Okay, my settings were off, so that's the reason it seemed like such a short day. There's a trade right there that I like right there. And that catches you into this. I don't think you want to enter this. You can see that trend line working up through there, or that trend channel. And we came back and confirmed it right here with a failure. So there's another chance to enter it that I like. So that's two chances to get in this. This one you probably would have got stopped out, but this failure, I think you'd probably be able to survive that one. And if you recognize how strong this is, I don't think I would enter here. It's just too congested. Not even a good signal bar. So you really don't get another chance to enter this one. You get a second entry here, but again, not a very good signal bar. And then, yeah, so, but that did add two trades to it and give you a chance to get some of that nice move into the 230 hour. So yeah, and you can see the volatility's back. But yeah, that changes everything. So I apologize. I should have looked at it closer. I didn't even look at the chart much after this 1 o'clock, so I didn't notice that it was shutting close. It had turned gray there at 2:30 till we got to going a little closer to looking a little closer at the chart. It didn't look right. So there it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm ready to get out of here at 6:30, and I want to get this uploaded so it's not too late for y'all to watch it too. So anyway, I'm done for today. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week and wrap up our year. But this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.